Okay, another daily puzzles. Okay, right. All right, okay, so let's look at the material count. Queen each, 2 rooks each, 2 minor pieces. How many pawns for white? 6. 6 for white, 7 for black. Okay, so look at the checks. Checks, no checks. Lots of captures. Bishop takes bishop here. Okay. Pawn takes. Knight takes. All right. Okay, so nothing immediately obvious. Pawn to e5, queen d7. Doesn't look like it leads to anywhere. Okay. So bishop takes bishop, queen takes. So you're losing the ball. Okay, so bishop takes bishop, pawn takes bishop back, and then pawn takes pawn. Okay, so white ends up being a pawn up. Is that right? It's not very convincing though. Okay, so what about pawn to f5? So pawn to f5, okay, leaves the bishop on pre. Bishop takes bishop. Okay, about pawn to e5. Pawn to e5, queen somewhere. Let's say d7, because if it goes to e7, then pawn to f6 attacks it with a tempo. And the squares around the black king, the dark squares, are a bit weak. So maybe, okay. So I've come to some sort of conclusion. Pawn to f5, pawn to f5, bishop takes e5, queen, let's say d8, staying in touch with the dark squares, and then f6 kind of traps the king. Okay, and then king scuttles to h8, queen h6, threatening queen g7, and then knight g5. Oh, that's probably what it is. Okay, so is that right? So f5, bishop takes, okay, e5, queen d8 or d7, pawn to f6. Now pawn to f6 threatening a checkmate in 2. Okay, so if the king moves in the corner, knight. Okay, so that's probably what it is. This is quite difficult. It's not winning material, but it's like threatening checkmate in the long term. So let's see whether I'm right. Wait a minute, is e5 the right move? So maybe e5 is the right order. e5, queen d7. Is that a better move? So we found one move, f5. Let's try to find a better move. So e5, queen b6, looking down at the diagonal to white's king. Okay, then f5. f5. f5, bishop takes f5. Queen, maybe that's not quite right. Queen h6, and it doesn't quite work out. But I do like f5. f5, bishop takes that. That's the natural move. f5, black's not going to play queen away. That would be pointless. Pawn takes pawn. Pawn takes, yeah, that doesn't quite work. E5 or f5. Okay, I think I'll play f5 rather than e5 first. The reason being is because the queen could shoot off to h6 immediately, and if okay, f5, bishop takes c4, queen h6. If bishop takes the rook on f1, then knight g5, and the checkmate is imminent. So I'm going to go with that. It's quite tough, this puzzle, right? So do we go straight to queen h6 instead? Well, after f6, I think it's quite difficult to get that checkmate. So e5 first, with the idea of f6 preventing black playing f6. Gosh. Now I want to play queen h6, but after f6, the black queen is covering. So let's block that. Is it okay to block? Yeah. Okay, and then queen h6, and then knight g5, knight g5. Well done. Right, okay, on to the next one.